Live? Oh, well, there we go. We are live. Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and checking out this show, The Chosen Few. We've got our wonderful and awesome cast around here. Uh, in order, beneath we have Nika, who's playing Celexa, our Bardlock, yes, Bard Warlock hybrid. Underneath her, we have Caliban, played by Evan, um, our cleric. Across from him, we have Nova, played by Winona, our fighter. And above her, we have Timothy, played by John, our ranger. And last but not least, above that, we have Ami playing Thea, our rogue. Sorry. Wow. And hi, I'm Matthew, our dungeon master. Hi. Hope you're enjoying the show. So last time we ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger, but before we resolve that cliffhanger, I just want to check in where everyone thinks that they are at this moment, just in case there's some sort of emergency or something, and I've got to figure out distances and times it takes to get places. I just want to make sure that I know where everyone is. Outside of this, I want everyone to know that I'm doing this right now solely to torture Nika. I am trying to cause her agony. And it's I'm enjoying it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I should be enjoying it this much.
No, you got to be a little bit of a sadist to run a game.
Do I? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this might be a little bit too much. Sorry, I apologize. Okay, so tell me, Timothy, where you think you are at this moment, and what recent activities you have done.
Yeah, well, I think we left off with me being in the Shame Square. And the Shame Statue Square?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's there's a statue. It says, "To our eternal shame." I definitely didn't steal that from anything. Anyone who tells you that I stole it from a comic book called Astro City is lying to you. 100%. It doesn't matter. The story is very different, so I'm okay. Yeah, and you have been doing what in that Shame Square, Timothy?
I have been intentionally provoking the citizens of the Kava.
How's that been going?
Interestingly, in some ways it didn't show me what I thought it would, and in other ways it was interesting how far I could push them. That also sounds a little sadistic now. But yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I think I'm still there. And in fact, I think I'm probably helping clean off the statue now.
Excellent. Looks like Ami is having minor technical difficulties, but we will be back shortly with her soon. Nova, where are you hanging out at this point?
I'm wandering around the city, antagonizing my guide, pointing to different places and say, "Can I go there?" And every time she says no, I write it down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you are collecting a list of forbidden places that you're not allowed to go, anything that might be going on that might prevent people from going places. And your guide's answers have been mostly yes, with a couple places that are no, but a couple of places that have been no have been no, not until after the ceremony, which is tonight, coming up quickly. So and that's a different answer. That's an interesting answer in some ways. Not ceremony is a weird answer. It's almost, there's a part of me that wonders if they should have arranged for you guys to come after the ceremony. I wonder why they didn't. Caliban, played by the wonderful Evan. Where are you? No, where are you? And what have you been doing? How have you been spending your time?
I've been indoors for most of the day. I've been mostly just awaiting what's to come. And speaking with my servant a little bit about events that transpired earlier in the day. And I wonder if I can take a moment actually to
of course.
Walk.
Anything we can do to agonize Nika some more.
No. But like, and in the moment they were going there, I wonder if I could be just starting to walk in the direction of where Nuja works.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you wanna head over to the religious place and speak with Nuja.
So that I'm just sort of on my way there. If that's
she's in the place called Aber. as we know, which is a temple of some sort.
Okay.
Okay.
And my servant's following me. I see.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of things going in Selexa's favor, in case things go wrong. Not saying they're going to. We have a couple things going in Selexa's favor, in case things go wrong. First and foremost, the Square of Shame is not that far from Selexa's location. Selexa's location is not on the Square of Shame, but it would be like the next square over. So we're talking like a 3 to 4 block run, which is reasonable. And then another thing that's sort of in Selexa's favor is that Nova has been running around looking at things that are forbidden. And obviously, the Celestial Domain, which is where Selexa is one of those forbidden things. So narratively speaking, it is not unbelievable that were something to go wrong, Nova would be able to say something like be there, narratively speaking, right? Looking at forbidden things, a forbidden thing. Makes narrative sense. And then the third thing that you have going in your favor right now, Selexa, is that you have an invisible friend with you. Our invisible friend, played by Thea. So let's do this thing.
I'm kind of wondering what is going through Thea's mind. I don't know. Yeah.
I think surprised at who we ran into once we got to the 150th floor, but also confused because to Thea, nothing is happening. She can't hear anybody talking.
Yeah. So I think our episode begins with just a shot of this massive building. I think we have that establishing shot where we sort of look down and we can see that there's like the red paint is still on that square that's not that far away. And we can see Nova and her guy just pointing at things, pointing. But basically, they're dots, they're specks far below as we sort of zoom in on this building, this large spire, which has chunks coming out of it in various directions. There's waterfalls, some which are like 6 to 8 stories, some which are like 80 stories, some which are just 1 story, to little pools of water, little fields of grass and greenery and flowers that are who knows how they're tended up here at the varying heights. And the building is tall enough that literally it is different ecosystems as you go up the building. It changes over time because it's such an incredibly tall building. There's no window, but the camera does that thing where it goes through a wall, and we get a close-up of Thea looking at Thea, clearly invisible, looking at Selexa and seeing Selexa looking at this weird tentacled creature. It looks aquatic. It looks slick and oily a little bit, and it's got these 4 tentacles coming down. No mouth that one can see, just these big eyes and sort of staring at Selexa. And I think our first moment of communication here is this clear moment of panic. Everyone in the audience heard what happened to Selexa. This creature came in and said, "What is your business with the Illithid Collective?" But it was a mental speaking, so Thea did not hear it. Thea does not know what it is. So Thea, there's this moment of silence, and then you see something. There is a small, very ungainly looking creature. Its skin is pale white, like the color of snow. It's probably about like 2.5, 3 feet tall, most of it, but then it has this abnormally shaped head that is this massive thing. Looks kind of like a massive brain supervillain that we've seen in comics before and things like that, except that it's this tiny creature, and it's carrying, of all things, a banker's box filled with files and papers, and it's sort of just walking kind of unevenly, galumphing a little bit, though not that fast, more like limping, I guess, towards the elevator where you are, the makeshift magical elevator thing that we have. what is your response to seeing this new weird creature? You're now seeing two very bizarre creatures in a row. Yeah, do you have a response to that?
I think Thea's first response is to psionically communicate with Celexa.
Mm.
Just say, should we hop on the elevator?
Okay, let's check in with Celexa. So this creature, Celexa, has looked at you and says, "What is your business with the Illithid Collective?"
So Celexa definitely like has at least a moment of sort of borderline panic, where these creatures that she sees, like she's been around a bit and she's seen some weird shit, but nothing anything like this.
Mm.
And this is far outside of what she was expecting. She had been trying to kind of like mentally prepare herself for um like bluffing her way into where she wasn't. I mean, she figured, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? Like, probably a bunch of bureaucrats who just don't like they're just trying to hide shit from her and hide shit from us, and it's nothing to be scared of. But this is not what she was expecting, and I think especially in that first moment, like she probably honestly forgets Thea is even there, that she's invisible, and I think she feels like totally alone and is definitely like feeling like maybe she should just run, like she should get back in the elevator and run. But this is all in like the space of half a second, and she pulls herself together, and she decides that she was like, okay, she was planning for this, and she was planning for something like this anyways, just not with weird tentacle monsters. So she tries thinking back at them. I bring a message from Numa.
Okay. Yeah. So it responds. Communicate your message.
Numa wishes to have an audience at her temple tonight. She said to tell him.
Before the ceremony?
Before the ceremony.
This is highly unusual.
She just gave me the message. I'm only the messenger.
Does she offer recompense?
She did send a token of good faith, and Celexa brings out a something that she has brought from home in her diplomat's pack. It is a it is a small vial, and she says, or she thinks Numa has blessed these waters for you, and it's a vial of perfume, and she hands it over.
Yeah. The creature doesn't take it. Instead, it waves at the small creature next to it with this, again, enlarged brain. And that creature sort of puts down its box and limps over to you. And I think it reaches for this. And I think this is the point where you hear Thea's psionic message in your mind. Should we get on the elevator and go? And it reaches for the perfume.
Celexa hands it over and thinks back. May I go?
Takes the perfume and walks back and hands it to the Illithid. And the Illithid examines it and says, is it Numa's intent to allow us through the covering?
Yes.
It takes the perfume and sort of picks it up and examines it and looks at you and says, we have much to prepare. You may leave.
Celexa hits the elevator button for the 10th floor, whatever the bottom floor is that's not quite to ground level.
Okay, yeah, floor 10. Thea, do you head on down?
Yeah, I follow closely.
Okay.
And she, Celexa is at this point just thinking like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah. So you get
Thea's like, what happened? Like, why did you take that perfume out?
They wanted something. They wanted a present. I don't know. I just was something that I thought I could give to them.
All right. As long as we can get out of here.
Yeah. I feel like while we're here, we should just take one more moment to see the bottom floor and just see what it is. We don't have to go far. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do
as long as there's no more of those things. If there are, we just run.
Agreed.
Okay.
Let's do
it. So you get. Oh, yeah, go, please.
What time is it?
Yeah, we established that this was. I mean, you've been exploring. People have been doing things throughout the day. I think we've established this is about 4 hours prior to the ceremony, so it's around 2 in the afternoon.
Okay. So also, Thea, we have to go and tell the others, so that we can, before the ceremony, we can go to Aberthor and see if we can see who shows up.
Right. Okay.
So just a quick jaunt, and then we should start rounding people up. Yeah.
Okay. So you get to floor 10. And this floor is almost exactly what you were expecting to see. It is lots and lots of people from the Kava. There's a lot of like frantic actions though. People are running around carrying things from one place to another. Someone shouts something, bring this to floor 86. You know, it's just everyone's just sort of shouting things. It feels more like a newspaper office than anything else. Like everything's very chaotic. It's very clear that there's a lot going on today. Whatever this ceremony is, and whatever this air of tranquility that these people have going on here in the society, it stops on this floor. This is chaos. People are throwing things across the room, and other people are shouting, "Stop throwing things! What if it gets misplaced?" You know, like there's just voices calling out everywhere. And you show up on this floor, and someone looks at you and says, "Were you assigned to us to help?" That better not be a file I see in your hand. You don't have no. I cannot take any. Who sent you?
I'm here from Numa.
And what does she need?
She just wanted to she wanted to make sure that you guys have everything that she asked for.
What? and someone's like, this person is like very clearly on the verge of a breakdown in front of you, and it's like, you tell Numa that she has gotten everything that she asked for in a prompt and efficient manner, and I cannot believe that she is sending more people to check up on her stuff. It's due until this night, and you can just go shove it.
Numa, Numa hopes that you will find your place in the flow.
Blessings be upon you too. Now get out. We've got too much going on. The ceremonies tonight. Get out.
Okay. Celexa goes back to the elevator and goes and heads to leave the building.
And while that whole
Yes.
conversation was happening, can I see what kinds of things are being, what kind of papers and stuff are being tossed around?
Are you willing to pick them up, or are you more interested in just sort of glancing at them quickly from afar? Like, are you willing to
Just
like go
glancing,
stack papers?
yeah, reading them from afar.
Okay, yeah. Why don't you roll a perception check? Nice, nicely done. 17. Yeah. So most of them seem to be lists. Lists of some of them are like in like things that you've never heard of. But they seem to be like lists of requests. It almost looks like grocery lists to a certain extent. Like it says like 4 apples for person Y, 10 of these things for person X, right? It's just and like that's sort of what the contents are. Like there's lots and lots of just lists of requests and the expectations of various things. Yeah, and that's sort of broadly what they seem to be.
Okay. Does anything kind of stand out from the lists?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think maybe if you like tried to steal a list, you could find out something about something, but you'd have to actively steal something. Like looking at it casually, it's the problem is that like you're looking at it and you're seeing that there are lots and lots of numbers. It's like looking at spreadsheets, right? It's absolutely reasonable that you could discover very vital information from these things, but you need time to look over it. You can just like glance at it casually, right? It's just it's raw data.
Right.
You know.
If I picked something up, it would just look like a piece of paper floating or something.
No, if it's on your person, if it's an item, then it would become invisible.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, anything that you're carrying that is not living becomes invisible.
Cool. Then, yeah, I'd like to try to steal something.
Sure. Yeah. Why don't you roll a sleight of hand check? You're invisible, so you can make this at advantage.
Sweet.
19. Nice. Yeah. How much do you want to steal? Do you want to steal like a ream of papers? Do you want to steal some papers? Do you want to steal like a piece of paper? Do you want to steal like a piece of paper from 10 different places?
Can I steal like a few pieces of paper from a few different places?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Spread it out.
Absolutely. Cool. Can you do me a favor and just roll 1d100?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. This is gonna be particularly amusing to me of all people. Okay, cool. So yeah, you steal a bunch of random pieces of paper. It'll take time to go over them later. But you see that they have names and items and things like that, generally listed upon things. Yeah, that's the deal. So Celexa, you have left already. Thea, are you gonna follow? Now that you have these papers?
Yeah, after I get them, I'll leave.
Yeah. So people are like running past you, and people are going to the elevators and going up to different floors and down to different floors, but mainly up from here because you're on floor 10. But people are just sort of running around like crazy, and there seems to be just like again, there's a lot of action here. This is much more vibrant an area than you've been to for a while. Awesome. Okay. So you head down to the ground floor. And there you guys are on the bottom of this floor. Do you want to, and your intention is to walk out the front door and leave?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And with that, you guys manage to leave the celestial domain, the building that you are forbidden from entering.
That was not. I was hoping to get more done, if I'm going to be honest. But I feel like, maybe time. It just felt like time.
You don't know. You still have time, certainly, on your disguise kit, or on your you cast disguise self, right? Yeah, that's how you're doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the limiting factors I feel like were invisibility and the tongues.
Right, are both an hour long. But
Yeah,
still,
exactly. But yeah, I think it's time.
Cool.
So, oh my God, what the hell was that? Where should we? What do we do next? Where should we go? We have to find people.
Crazy. Should we find our group?
Yeah, but we don't even know where they're gonna be right now.
True.
What if we go by? Oh, also, I just realized, or Celexa just realizes in that moment because it's been like so crazy. She just realizes that Thea has no idea like what
the conversation
what was said between Celexa and the Illithids. So she explains like what happened. Like, yeah, I said that Numa sent me, and like that's why I gave them the perfume, and I told them that they want that Numa wants to meet him. I don't know. I just said him. Numa wants to meet him tonight before at Abrathor before the ceremony.
Whoa! So you invited somebody
to go visit Numa? I don't know. I didn't know what else to do. I needed something. I needed to. Yeah, I needed a reason to be there, and I thought maybe if we can get them to leave. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but should we go by Abrathor now? Should we we could do that, or we could go back to the Sky and Mountain or whatever it is.
So I think as you're having this conversation, it's the perfect opportunity for Nova to walk there into this building and say, "Is that off limits?" And so you literally see Nova and her escort appear right here, right now.
Oh, so I think Celexa probably runs up to Nova, and then probably gets up to her before she realizes that she's still disguised.
Whoa. Whoa. Hello?
Hello. There's a person. Oh, the person is with you, right?
Yes. So the guide actually interposes themselves between you two and says, "Now is not the time, sister, for praise of the chosen. Please keep your distance."
Can I say psionically to Nova? Nova, it's us.
I look at Celexa and say, Thea?
Celexa says, Numa sends, because it's been working for her so far today, why not just roll with it? Numa sends her greetings and hopes that you will be well rested and prepared for the ceremony tonight. And then Celexa starts walking in the direction. She gives Nova dagger eyes and starts walking in the direction of Sky and Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I want Nova to roll an insight check.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's good enough. So not a lot of people can look at you with dagger eyes like that.
It's a special kind of dagger eyes.
It's a special kind of dagger eyes. Yeah, and so you recognize that as being like Celexa probably, although Thea just spoke to you, and that this is some sort of code.
On our way back, are we passing by the square of shame?
Yeah, certainly.
Okay, I think we should. I'd like to run into Timothy.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So Nova sees Timothy. Timothy, how like you're helping clean up? How much are you helping clean up? Are you scrubbing? Are you directing people as to where to scrub? Or you're like, oh, there's a problem over there, or are you like are you like actually down there scraping the red paint out?
I think I feel bad, so I'm actually down there scrubbing, getting in there with some elbow grease.
Yeah. Okay. We'll pick up that scene in just a second, but I want to go check in with Caliban, who has made his way over to the Aberthor a little bit early. So the Aberthor is a long, sort of squat building with an open doorway, with waterfalls coming down to it. Not really pews again. We've got this sort of large rounded. Not really pews again. We've got this sort of large rounded circle of how things. Yes,
Just to make sure, I said Nuja, not Numa.
You said Nuja.
Yes.
Pardon me.
It's okay.
No worries. Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna head back over. Never mind. I take it back. This is my fault. I created a society that has standardized naming conventions, which means that I can screw it up a lot. I highly recommend standardized naming conventions because it means that you can give people names and they can deduce what society they're from. It's super useful. It also means that you are more likely to screw up people's names. Excellent. Beautiful. So you're going to head over to the Futurists, actually, and go talk to them. She is in the the trust ward where political things happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you make your way over to Nuja's office, and you are let in but escorted from the front to her office, and the door is opened, and she looks harried and hassled and looks up and says, "What? Oh, come in."
Is he?
It's a day.
Yeah, I'll come in. I glance at my guide. This is the same servant that was with me earlier.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I say, want to join us?
Nods and like comes in but stands in the corner. Nuja looks at you questioningly and then says, "Actually, could you hold on one second?" And she just like pulls out a piece of paper and starts scribbling things on it very, very quickly. Her hand is moving really, really fast. And then she just picks it up, looks at it, does like the once over, and then like lurches over to the door and opens the door and like calls a name, right? She's just like, "Dulka!" And she like hands out this thing and, "Come now!" Then like you see someone like skid
as she's doing that. Can I look at the papers on her desk?
Yeah, sure. Roll a perception check. Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of them have the look of receipts, confirmations of deliveries, some from her, some to her, and some to other sorts of maybe organizations that she is in control of and things like that. But it definitely looks like business receipts of deals and transactions, which is surprising because they've made a big deal about not being really a deal society, that sort of society. So yeah, and someone skids and grabs this, and Nuja says, "Just deal with this. You're the only one I trust because I'm surrounded by incompetence. But you have got to deal with this. I gotta talk to Caliban here, but you deal with this. Make sure that nothing goes wrong. Okay? I don't want to hear 1 cent of any issue from those irritating." And she glances back at you and then looks at. You know who I'm talking about. Don't let them push you around. Yeah? And Dulka nods. Go! What are you doing sticking around here? Go, go, go! And she starts running away. And Nuja turns around and comes back and sits down. Sorry about that. It's a busy day, ceremony day, and all that.
No problem. No problem at all. I thought this would be the last chance I'd get before the ceremony to get you alone. And I hold up the ring on my right hand. This is a gift from an old friend from home.
Is it now?
Yes. I glance at my servant. I'm about to do the same thing that I did earlier. Would you like to stay?
He seems confused, but nods.
Okay. I cast Stone of Truth.
Yeah, what's your spell save DC?
14.
And it's a charisma save? Do we say for Stone of Truth? Sorry.
I'm looking.
Okay. Okay. She resists it.
I say, it was worth a shot.
I understand the desire to do things like that, but I'm not going to fall for that nonsense.
I understand. I thought it was worth a shot. I could ask outright. Are you infected?
No.
Can I insight?
Sure.
Great. 23. Oh, that's perception. Sorry.
This
Wrong
is the same.
stat. It's the same roll, but
okay.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, no. I'll hold that roll. That's fine. It's it's a D20 whether you click perception or insight. If they're both +5 or whatever they are. They're +6. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. She is not lying. From the way that she sees things.
Okay. Great. That's all I need. If you need anything from me, just please let me know.
I almost certainly will need things. Need is the wrong word. I certainly will request things, but not today. I have too much to do and too much to. Just a word of advice. You're a foreigner here, and you've been tasked with something very difficult. Casting your little spells to, force the truth out of people, not very polite. Some people are going to take offense at that.
Totally. Of everyone that I could think of, you were the person who would take the least offense in my mind.
You do not know me very well, child.
No, I don't. Sorry about that. Truly.
Apology tentatively accepted. For, old friends from home.
Thanks. And glance at my servant and take a walk back to our hotel.
Okay. So in the square, Timothy is cleaning up as Nova comes in. Celexa is still in disguise, yes? Or have you gone ahead in your own position and we'll just meet them there?
If Nova turned around and I guess she probably goes ahead because Nova's probably with her keeper still,
yeah.
And it would be kind of weird for them to be walking together with this person, right?
Yeah.
So, actually, you know what? Maybe what happens is Celexa ducks into an alley and drops her disguise, and then runs around the corner and runs into Nova and is like, "Oh my gosh, Nova! What a coincidence! How crazy to see you here."
And Thea,
are you headed back? Are you headed back to the hotel? That's where I'm going.
Yes. Wink.
How subtle is Nova at this? Just curious.
Not.
Okay. I'm sorry to ask, mistress, but where is your guide? Where is your escort?
Oh, our I decided that I didn't need an escort for today.
As you wish, mistress.
Thank you.
Looking like
You live to serve, I know.
yes.
Yeah.
Thea, are you still with them invisible, or have you turned that off, or what?
Can it be turned off?
I mean, you can ask Alexa to turn it off.
It's a potion, so I don't know
it's a
if that
potion.
can be dismissed or not.
Oh, no, it cannot. So it lasts
Yeah,
an
so I
hour.
guess I'm still invisible. Yeah.
Cynthia's just walking along with them invisible. Yeah, so you guys bump into Timothy. Timothy, you join them on their trek back to Sky Mountain.
Sure.
Okay. Just asking. Okay.
I don't know. We're not going back. I don't think. I mean, that's what I heard. Wink.
Where is the ceremony being set up?
The moon viewing pools.
And where is that in relation to where we are?
Not far. The other side of the celestial domain.
I would be interested in checking that out before it's all set up.
We are too late for that, mistress. It is almost entirely set up currently.
Oh.
But of course, we can go look if you'd like to see.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Very well, mistress. And turns and starts walking to guide you guys there. Selexa's going. Oh, sorry, guess Lexa.
Sure. Selexa will just say, "We can do this quickly, right? Because we don't want to miss our meeting."
Sure. Yeah. I just want to check it out and see what it looks like before it's filled with people, so I can.
That sounds like a good plan. Let's do it. Yeah, Selexa will go.
Okay.
Timothy, what about you? Are you joining, or are you like, oh, I'm going to keep help cleaning, or?
I will pull off and join them. Yeah.
Okay. And Thea, you're tracking along invisible. Okay. Cool. Excellent. Yeah. So this guide guides you across. It's probably about a 20-minute walk. So not incredibly long. And you get there, and they have parks all over this place, but this is one of the most tranquil and beautiful ones that you've seen. It's very clearly, very carefully constructed, and right now there are sort of tents covering large portions of it. It looks sort of like event tents, sort of type thing. There's a fair amount of just things, and you see people sort of moving. There's kegs for drinking. There's people mixing like fruit punch or whatever. There's people there's like a chef who's preparing hors d'oeuvres. So it's a pretty happening spot right now. Everyone's sort of preparing things on site, and it looks very very nice. Everything is very beautifully prepared. The building has the park has two. Most water here is flowing, right? It's almost always like water falls down into like bubbling little lakes, which then are pumped back up and blah, blah, blah. But here we have two completely placid, still pools, a larger one and a smaller one. And they are relatively big in size. And around each of them, there are embedded perfectly flat white discs. Just very beautiful, clear white discs that it's hard to tell what they're made of, but kind of maybe marble, maybe something, maybe even I don't know. It almost looks like pearl in the color sheen. of what it is, and they're just implanted perfectly evenly around them, as like a embroidery or border around these two very placid, very shallow pools. They're not deeper than a foot. They're closer to like 6 inches, 5 inches deep, and the water in them is perfectly clear, and there's no fish, or life of any kind in them. They're very, very pure. And then in between them, there is a stone elevated platform with then a smaller stone elevated platform on that that looks almost like a bench, but it's a little bit high to be a bench, and a little bit awkward in size. And there's carvings all over it. And again, you see all these people moving around, but there's one person who's sort of standing and just quietly staring at the bench in robes of pure white and that are covering his head. And as you guys approach, he turns and he seems to see you guys. And he approaches. He begins to walk. He walks very calmly. His arms are folded inside of the cloak. He looks kind of like a Jedi dressed in all white. And he walks very placidly and very calmly to you. Every time someone has tried to speak to you guys, your assistants have more or less tried to stop them. Certainly anything that's unexpected, like, hey, I'm going to this meeting with this person, they've been fine. But like whenever like a public person has tried to speak to you, like they but the assistant like just backs away. And this person walks towards you, and he speaks, and he says, "Greetings. Are you the chosen?"
Yes, we are. All three of us.
And he looks, and he makes eye contact with each of you, the three of you, and he says, "If it is not too much to impose, might I ask for a blessing?"
Timothy?
That's not really my thing. I mean, I took intro to world religions, but
it is not a religious practice that I need you to adhere to my faith. More just the aesthetic of faith in me.
And what is your name?
You may call me Kyra.
Is this a name that we recognize?
Nope.
Nope.
First time you're hearing it.
Okay. Blessings on you, Kyra.
You cannot know how much this means to me. Chosen.
We don't know you, but I strangely feel honored to meet you. Where do you live? Where do you stay?
It matters not anymore. Thank you. And he nods.
Can I do insight?
Yes.
I feel like that sounds like a before doing something awful kind of thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, you can't read him. He's very vague and enigmatic. But he seems very calm.
I'd like to watch where he goes.
Okay. He turns and very slowly walks back between the pools. Again, wherever he goes, people seem to like back away and let him pass. You know, when he walks towards a caterer, like the caterer, it's not even like there's not even a moment where like they like see each other and the caterer's like, nope, I'm lower class, and move away. The caterer is just already moving away, and bows. Right, like I don't. If they're carrying a stack of 20 dishes, they like put them to the side so that they can bow. And he walks and he goes and he again just returns to that weird stone platform, the plinth and platform between the two pools. He just seems to stare at it.
I ask my handler, "Who's that?"
He is the conduit for tonight's ceremony.
What does that mean?
You'll see. We're not supposed to tell you.
Does that mean he's gonna die?
And like she kind of waffles a little bit and then nods.
Okay.
It was good of you to say those words to him.
Oh.
Is this a common practice in your society?
What do you mean?
Sacrifices, human or other sacrifices?
No, not common at all.
Just tonight, just for us.
No, not for you. It has nothing. It actually, it's well, as far as I know, it is coincidental. Your presence. In fact, we've never had. Well, I mean, obviously, you're the first people.
Does that mean that there are just just a random question, not having to do with anything? Does that mean that there are no, since you say we're the first people here, are there no non-Asimar in the Kva?
And looks sort of at you, and does that thing where they are very careful. No one from the Shimmering Seas besides you has ever been in the Kava.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's really weird because I bumped into like someone from like a Regulus or something the other day. Real nice guy.
Yes. They are friendly.
Well, if this is the only if this is sacrifice is unusual, that probably explains why this guy's looking a little bit pensive.
Yeah, I'm sure he hasn't been sacrificed before.
Why not go and ask him? What, first time?
That is such a Celexa thing to do. So, first time being sacrificed?
You have to do what we say. I mean, for all intents and purposes, correct? I asked the handler.
Well, I have explicit instructions that override yours, but yes, within reason.
What if we said, or I said, I don't know how you guys are feeling, what if we said, stop the ceremony?
To what end? But you... I am not in a position to do such a thing, nor would I if I could. The traditions of our people must outweigh this current crisis.
And you said that the sacrifice doesn't have to do with us. It has to do with something else.
Yes.
What is the something else?
I cannot say.
Because this is
wait,
like
you did. You said it. You said that he was the conduit.
Yes.
But not for us.
No.
For the
moon thing.
the 2 moon solstice thing?
Yes.
Loonstice?
Yes.
All right.
Does it have to do with the covering?
Forgive me. You are trained in the arcane and have studied this? It is not a common word.
Uh, a bit, yes. I have a bit of arcane knowledge.
Well, then you certainly know more than I. I'm really I'm really a secretary more than anything else. I'm to fetch you food and bathwater and guide you. Not, I don't have knowledge of the higher workings.
If you say so.
While we're here, I'd like to have Nova kind of do some scouting and see if there's any security, and
Mhm.
also see if there's any good vantage points for observing what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Roll an investigation check.
Okay.
I'll allow perception since those are sort of interchangeable at this moment, but they'll give you slightly different information.
Okay. Could I also use my Watcher's Eye? Gives me a feel for kind of like law and criminals.
Yeah, I'll give you advantage on the roll.
Okay. And that's investigation or perception. They're the same for me.
Okay.
Ooh.
16. Nice. Yeah. So with the 16, yes, I will tell you this. There is security for this thing, and you are quite comfortable saying that whatever the norm is, security is not it. The people are not like placed in this. They don't have positions that are like, yes, this is the place that the security people obviously stand. This is designed to be something else. There is security, but it's recent events. This is not like they don't traditionally have security at these events. They're not like, they don't have the well practiced look of we know where to stand in this location. That being said, they look like competent security, right? The Kava understands safety and security, but a lot of these people, in fact, you even see some of these people are people that you saw as scouts out on the border who met you guys as you guys entered into this realm, and it's a different skill set. It's not totally different. There's corollaries, but it's not exactly the same. So you're seeing that. That's the first thing you're seeing. Secondarily, you would say one of the tents has a large platform at the top of it that like it's like a pole that's holding up the tent, but the top of that pole is a large metal platform, and if you were to stand on that platform on top of the tent, you would be able to see everything except for exactly what's underneath you in the tent. But you'd be able to see the entire party, the field, you'd be able to see the water, you'd be able to see basically all the way up to the buildings from everywhere. You'd also be on top of a tent, so people would be able to see you, but it's definitely like if there was a vantage point, if ever there was a vantage point, this would be it.
Okay.
Hey, Thea, are you here still? Thea!
Yes.
You are invisible, right?
Yeah, I'm still invisible.
Okay. Thea, do you have one of those? Do you have one of those blood draw kits on you?
Yeah.
Test kits. Okay, let me have one. I have an idea.
Okay, so I place one in Timothy's hand.
And I'm going to make my way to the plinth, to the center of the pool, and approach the sacrificee's name, Kyra.
Kyra. Khaira.
I would like to bless you further. In order to do so, however, I need a sample of your blood.
He looks down at his arms, which are folded inside his sleeves. And he looks at you. And this is the first time he's actually made like real eye contact because the hood has covered everything. And he looks at you and he says, I appreciate the kindness of this gesture more than you can know. But I have no blood to spare.
because you're saving it for something special, or something else?
No, just that.
Just that. Okay. Okay. Hey, one more question. This will sound weird, I'm sure, but just to cover all of our bases, are you infected?
Oh yes, the disease that you believe you are here for. No, I am certainly not infected. One might say that I am the least possible to even be infected.
Why might one say that?
For I am fully kava, not diluted, but pure. I have been tested time and time again in preparation for tonight.
I see. Do I see? Do I have any idea what he's talking about?
Yeah, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I want you to roll an insight check for me. Yeah, with the 16, I will allow you, John, the player, to ask me, Matthew, the DM, 2 questions. And I will give answers as best I can. Not in character answers, but like this is you interrogating the fiction.
Okay. What is the difference between him, full kava, and the rest of the people?
Yeah, it is a religious difference, not a physical difference. So his belief that he is not infected is more pride-based than anything else. That being said, he has undergone a fair amount of testing before this ceremony. So he is probably right that on some level, like he's been poked and prodded more than most people. If he was infected, either there's a huge cover-up, which is possible, or something else is going on.
Okay. And what was one of the factors that made him more kava? Like what were some of those tests?
Yeah, absolutely. The implication that he is attempting to imply is that it is lineage. How true that is a little bit more complicated, but he certainly believes that like he is from a line of people that are designed for this.
Okay.
But yeah, he certainly believes that lineage is significant.
Okay.
That answer your questions?
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. I hope no one minds that I do that. Sometimes I like doing that. I find it an interesting way to manipulate gameplay a little bit, and I hope no one minds. Cool, awesome. Back into story playing moments. Yeah, so just in the fiction, we can treat that as Timothy having figured this stuff out. It's sort of like an insight, but like more than that, it's optional. Okay. Does anyone have anything else that they want to do at the moon viewing pool at this time? Okay, then we'll have you guys leave the moon viewing pool, and let's check in with Caliban. Caliban, how do you feel about your meeting with Nuja, emotionally, mentally?
It was a disappointed.
Yes, I can understand that.
Caliban thought in some ways Nuja responded the way he thought she was going to, in other ways she didn't. And he knew he had very little chance of success, but he thought that she would, because especially given her answer, and especially given that they were given names, hers included, from Arwa, about people that she suspected of being infected. That he is convinced without a shadow of a doubt that her brain has been replaced. But at the same time, he wants to understand why she isn't taken aback by that, and also why she isn't upset by that line of questioning, but was upset that by the manners in which he went about trying to get that information.
Yeah, very weird person. There's been a series of weird responses there. Yeah, I like your line of reasoning, and I like those. I like that insight into Caliban a little bit. Are you heading back to the mountain in the sky?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get changed.
Okay. Yeah, so I think everyone sort of makes their way back to the sky and the mountain. Thea, I think we have a funny moment, if it's okay with you, where your invisibility potion wears out on the walk back. And at one point, the guide like turns around, like saying something to everyone, like, "This is the Northwest building on the." Where have you been? When did you get here?
Oh, I just got here.
Where's your escort?
I just didn't need one today.
She sort of looks off into the distance and is like, "Hello. This is the Northwest building." Evelyn continues with the guide as she walks you back to the mountain in the sky. So you guys are brought in, or in the mountain in the sky, and you hear someone call for you, and it is Arwa. I don't know why I rolled it that hard. I've never rolled it that hard before, but Arwa. And Arwa just calls you into like a common room where she can speak with the five of you. She says, so tonight is the moon viewing ceremony. This is a very important religious ceremony for and one has certain traditions in it. It's a rare ceremony, one that we perform roughly once every, well, I guess technically 98 years. It is performed when both moons are fully full and also in their closest position. It is important that it be done at that time, and we it means a lot to us, and it's very powerful. But it is very different from some of the ceremonies I'm sure that you are used to and have seen in your own cultures. But do know that everyone participating fully and in good faith, you're going to see some unusual things. And that is, there's nothing I can really do about that. It would be, we're in sort of a, there's a colloquial phrase from Gillester that I've always liked. We're in a bit of a pickle. It's the five of you are honored and revered enough that it would be inappropriate for you not to be invited to such an event. But a whole portion of the event is to protect people like the five of you from things. So an agreement has been made that you will be invited to the ceremony, and you will be able to see what you see, and you will learn much, much about us, much about the world, much about the ways of things.
We already met Kyra.
Ah, yes. The one who is to be sacrificed tonight, I understand.
Yes.
What is our part of the ceremony? What is our part of the ceremony? Like, what are the steps that we do?
Oh, sorry if that was unclear. No, it's really for you. Your invitation is purely ceremonial. You're more like honored guests. So hang out, eat the hors d'oeuvres. You can chat with people. There's all sorts of strange people that you'll get to meet. Many members of the Kava wish to meet you.
Speaking of strange people, What will Numa be doing there?
Numa? She is chanting a recitation of ancient poetry in our language that will it's like reading a text. Reading. Do you have a religious text? And I know you don't really believe in God so much as
I'm sure
animus.
somebody does.
Right. Yes.
do-
So she'll be taking readings and selections of things.
Will somebody be translating that for us?
We certainly can arrange for that if you'd like. Yes.
I feel like that would be a good idea. Yeah.
Of course. Yes. And she looks around and she calls one of your servants and comes over. And she says, I know that your duties are officially do not include tonight, but if you would be willing to assist as translator, that would be wonderful. And the servant looks and then nods.
Arwa, who else lives in this city other than the Kva? Or other than the Asimar?
Well, as of tomorrow, it will be just the 5 of you and us.
Okay, thank you. What about today?
Oh, sorry, that's just a way we speak.
Interesting.
What about that guy
Interesting turn of
from?
phrase.
What about that guy from Regulus?
A visitor, and one you should not have seen.
Does that mean he's leaving today?
Yes.
Are they all leaving today?
Yes.
Why?
For your safety.
He seems pretty safe.
Not you misunderstand. By you, I curse languages and their vaguenesses. By you, I meant not just you, but all of you and your people.
So if we want to talk to anyone who's not from, this world or something, that would be something we have to do tonight.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
At this point, Celexa says, I feel like I might need some extra time to get ready. I'm gonna go get ready, and if anybody else wants to go get ready, then feel free to join me.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yes. Yes, I need to get ready myself as well. I have robes to change into nicer things. And she looks down, and it's the first time we've seen her act just sort of in a conventional way. She like picks at something on her shirt and flicks it off, and like, I don't look gussied up enough.
Celexa starts walking towards the meeting room.
Yeah, the Soulwood meeting room. Excellent. Excellent. So, do all of you? I assume that all of you head down there. Okay. There you are, downstairs in your Soulwood meeting room.
Okay, so sorry, apologies. We are stopping this? Yes? No? I don't know. I'm conflicted. As an anthropologist, normally I would not intercede in people's affairs, but
Well, I don't see how we would. But okay, just put that aside for a moment and prepare to have your minds blown, because these people are so full of shit, and this is like, Thea, you tell them.
There's elephant people. And big brain people. I don't know. We saw some.
Universal
Definitely not just ASMR.
They were so not ASMR. Yeah, I don't know what they were, but they were like what they wait. They said something. They told me they thought something at me. They said they were the was it the Illithid Collective? They said they were the Illithid Collective, and I told them that they had. I didn't know what to do. They looked super weird and scary, and like I could not stay. But I told them that Numa wanted to meet them before the ceremony at the temple.
Why?
Because I needed to tell them something, and I thought
It wasn't
maybe,
it wasn't planned out necessarily that way.
well, I was just thinking like it felt too dangerous to be there. But I thought maybe we could get a chance to see who they are or what they do when they're not in this crazy place, and maybe some place that feels slightly safer or not their territory.
Have any of us heard of Illithids before?
Yeah, I will allow anyone who is trained in arcane to roll an arcane roll, an arcana roll.
Nope.
Anyone who is trained in arcana, sorry, to roll an arcana roll. Nope.
Okay. They like, yeah, they're probably not ASMR then. They didn't.
I mean, no, yeah, trust me.
Did they
not ASMR?
Did they seem to want to cause you any harm?
I didn't really want to stay to find out.
Right.
Oh, also there was this weird like bubble heads like secretary thing. I don't know, like it was like this tall and was a whole nother level of just weirdness. I can't even explain it.
Did you have any drugs? Like this sounds like a bad trip.
Well,
I saw it too.
Thank you,
Okay.
Fee.
Although we did take some potion right before then.
Do you think that they're really gonna leave?
They're
Sorry?
really what?
Do you think that all the non-ASMR are really gonna leave?
I don't think that's what Arwa meant.
What do you think Arwa meant?
I think she meant that at the ceremony we will not meet any of those people. And that maybe the celestial domain isn't necessarily part of the Cabal.
Nova,
I hadn't thought of that.
Did they say anything strange about like going forth tomorrow? Like are things changing tomorrow? Like with you, and like you were asking questions today, right? On your little tour?
Oh yeah, I was wandering around town, pointing at things, asking if I could go there. Partially to annoy my handler, and partially so I have a list of places that we should check out. And they said that there would be places that we would like be allowed to go to tomorrow, but not today. So I have no idea what that means, but I assumed it was something about the ceremony, but it sounds like we're not really doing anything as part of the ceremony. We're just going to it.
Watching and learning, yeah.
Does anybody else want to come with me to the temple before the ceremony and see who shows up? Well, I mean, even if I'm just hiding, and I mean, I feel like we
should probably warn Numa.
well, or that was the other question. Is like, do we trust her or not? I don't know.
I think they have no idea it was you. And if you go and you get caught, then we're done.
Well, we have we visited Numa before, and we have a reasonable like excuse for wanting to visit her, right? Especially if she's playing a part in the ceremony. We could go ask her questions. We could wish her good luck.
Then they won't let us in on that conversation at all. So if the point is to go see this interaction, we would need to do it stealthily. And if we do it stealthily and we get caught, we are shit out of luck.
But what if they kill Numa? You said they were scary.
From what I understand, Arwa believes that she is infected. And if these people who speak mind to mind...
Wait, Arwa?
Arwa said that Numa
was
infected. And so if that is the case, and these people who speak mind to mind, brains being misplaced, displaced, things that are speaking mind to mind, these things seem connected to me. Not a huge stretch.
I feel like if they're visiting, I don't know, at least maybe there's only going to be one, right? Like, unlike if there's just one, maybe we can sneak around and see something. Maybe we'll see nothing. Maybe we'll see nothing. But I feel like we have, I have to know what happens.
What else did you see in the tower?
Fee, you're with me, right?
Yeah. I think we owe it to Numa to at least check out what they're gonna do. Oh, and I found these papers.
So can I see those?
Sure.
It's receipts, right?
Yeah, or pending. Unlike receipts, which are records of transactions, these are pending transactions. And ironically, when you do a search for them, they're for random people. Most of the names you don't recognize, but one of them is Numa's name. While trying to confirm Numa's order on the 150th floor, on the 10th floor, you stole her order.
What did she order?
Yeah, she ordered 30 samples of bone metal.
Bone metal?
Do we know what bone metal is?
Celexa would have a broad understanding of bone metal as being a useful magical regent or a conduit for power, not too dissimilar in some ways from Earth's Blood, though emphasizing different things.
So two things. I just want to get out there. If you go to see this meeting that is likely going to happen, I guess, between Numa and these tentacly things, and you get caught, I don't want any part of that necessarily. Secondly, the tower that you went into, did you see anything else, anyone else? What kinds of people were there on the 10th floor?
All kinds of people. I mean, they're mostly just running around.
Were they all Asimar?
I think they were, right?
Yeah,
right, yeah. There was one really pushy guy.
Then I would assume that the Celestial Domain is some sort of embassy, right? So not technically part of the Kava, and as such, they're not going to leave tomorrow. They're going to be there.
Ugh, language. Well,
I still think we might only get one chance. So I want to go, and if we have to run away, we have to run away. But they're going to. We're expected as honored guests tonight at this ceremony. If we just disappear, there will be many questions, and we will be missed. People will notice. So I feel like it's maybe one of the. We're so conspicuous at this point. This is maybe one of the best possible times to get into trouble.
I'll go with you. You're right.
And with that statement, I think we will fade to our intermission, and we'll be back in 10 minutes and see if all of the group is going with Celexa, or if it's just Caliban, Celexa, and Thea. And we'll see what happens next. Hello, world. Welcome back. We are the Chosen Few playing on the Vanish X Zone channel. If you are enjoying our content, please like, follow, subscribe, whatever Twitch wants you to do. We also have a YouTube channel. You can go watch the VODs there once we upload them. Sometimes we're a little behind, but you can go check them out if you want. Sagas of the Shimmering Sea on YouTube. Also, as is always important, particularly in our current political moment, but it's worth remembering that Black Lives Matter and LGBTQIA+. It's Pride Month, so try to find cool and interesting creators, particularly BIMPOC creators, LGBTQIA+ creators, and go out of your way to support them. This is a good time to do so. There's a project right now called Blackout, I think, where they're encouraging people to purchase 2 books by Black authors this week, if you can, to show that they have selling power and help all Black authors negotiate higher things. So I recommend you do that. If you're looking for recommendations, I have many. I have lots. I love a lot of great books. Yeah, so do that. Back to, oh, yes, we have a channel. This channel has shows on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Nope, I get that wrong every time, and it's literally right in front of me. I'm literally looking at it. I see the word Thursday, and I say the word Tuesday. The show has stuff on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays. There we go. This show is on Sundays. Mondays is normally the assassination of Primarch Magli Black Ice due to some stuff that's going on. That show is going to be on hiatus, and we're going to instead fill it with a different D&D show that takes place 50 years in the past. It's going to also be run by a guest dungeon master, Musashi. He is an awesome Asian dungeon master, and he will be bringing a lot of cool things to that table. So come check out that show. They'll be playing for, looks like a 4-week arc, and then we'll get back into the assassination of Primarch Magli Black Ice, which I know some of you were very nervous about because that is a very intense show, and there are very intense things going on. On Thursdays, we have a dungeon crawl. Go check them out. And on Fridays, we're launching a new show, either this week or next week, where we are going to be learning new RPGs. We're going to be playing games that we are broadly not familiar with, some by creators that maybe you don't know things, and we're going to be doing system analysis of these games as well. Both learning the games and then figuring out what makes the games tick to get it all together and make it all happen. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about that show in particular. We're also going to have a lot of guests on that show. A lot of creators have volunteered to come on and present their game or to run their game for us, so we can sort of get a cool first-hand experience, among other things. So, yeah, check out our content. We're slowly but steadily growing. Slowly. Steadily is definitely not the right word. Okay. So, back into the game. So last we chatted, there was plans for some of you, if not all of you, to go investigate this meeting that we have unintentionally or in a moment of panic set up between Numa and the Illithid Collective. What is here? Who is going to that? Who is not going to that? And do we have a plan as to how we're going to sneak there? Or are we going to go there openly? What is the plan? Speak to me.
Okay, so here's an idea. I can go in, either just me or a few of us can go in and speak to Numa and tell her more or less what's going on. And while I'm doing that, or we're doing that, Thea can be finding a way to get an eye on the situation and be able to like let us know what's going on, since she can communicate to all of us. She has sort of uniquely able to help us keep an eye on things. Potentially, if I went in, disguised as I was before with the robe, um, the anybody who was coming, like although I would have to reveal myself to Numa, anybody who was coming, for example, from the tower, wouldn't necessarily know that I was not a priestess, so, or a server, and so they wouldn't necessarily be scared away. Just
That sounds great.
So-
I can leave after, potentially, and pretend to meditate at a spot nearby, near running water, just to be on call if need be.
Nova, what are you interested in coming to this?
I think that I heard that this thing might be dangerous, so yes. I'd be happy to go with someone else. Otherwise, I could probably get my handler and just wander around town again, asking about more places, and coincidentally end up there.
You want to come with me while I meditate?
Sure.
I'll have a servant with me, but
I feel like if you two are nearby, it would make me, I don't know about Thea, but it would make me feel a lot safer.
Definitely.
What about you, Timothy?
I kind of want to do a Timothy classic here and go off into the woods and clear my head. I was also thinking about visiting Taj El-Aziz. I told you I met him, right? Yeah. Yeah. Don't you feel like Masozi might pop up tonight? I just feel like just a couple questions to Masozi's great grandfather might, I don't know, just shed some light on something.
Do you have time to make it all the way into the forest and back before the ceremony?
I don't know.
What would you ask him that would reveal new information?
I don't know. It's just a hunch.
Okay.
Didn't last time you went there, didn't you end up getting knife pointed?
Yes, I did, but they know me now, and I survived, so can't be can't be harder than the first time. Tell you what, I'll go with all of you. There's strength in numbers, and then I will decide to peel off or not then.
So go, and the three of us will be together while Celexa and Thea are scouting in?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, great.
And how much time do we have before the ceremony?
Not that long, probably 2 hours.
Okay.
The only other thing that I'm thinking of is that I just remembered that Numa, she only speaks Kvanian, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if I don't have I can't remember, did she have somebody there who helped translate for her, or was it one of our? Sorry,
one of our servants translated.
One of our servants.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're not there with us, then that means that I need a way to.
Well, why don't you get your servant to go with you? And
Doesn't Thea have that brain thing?
Yeah, but if I'm hiding,
I think the point
probably won't want to be translating.
And it would be, I mean, not that like I care that much about them, but I feel like it'd be kind of rude to drag our servants into a potentially like dangerous situation with a bunch of these guys, right? Like,
not really.
No? Okay. Well, I mean, if Caliban's not worried, then I'm certainly not worried.
No, the servants, I think we've been treating them too much like resources. They're there to do what we say for the most part. And I think we should treat them as such rather than treating them like anything less or more. So if you bring your servant with you, Celexa, for translation, and then you leave, and Thea is there, then that might work.
That's true. I wouldn't necessarily be disguised then. Would be the only.
That's true.
The only issue. Or the last option that I would have is to use my other scroll of tongues.
Well, what exactly do we want to tell Numa? That we set up
want
the thing.
Yeah, we want to tell her what's going on. Maybe we should we bring Thylor?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he can communicate like me. That'd be good.
Could also bring Nephany, but maybe that would be more conspicuous.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Sorry to be so blunt. He's our ace in the hole.
Well,
okay.
I might bring Nephany either way, but maybe not for translating purposes.
Yeah. We don't want anyone to know that she's
yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like we have a little bit of a plan, maybe some conflicting plans. Timothy, you're going to head to the woods?
No, I think I'm staying with them for now.
Okay. You sure?
No.
Okay. Do you want to role play out your indecision?
No, no one needs to see that.
Okay. Fair.
No, you know what? No. Throwing caution to the wind, Timothy says, apologies, I can't do this. And he just dead bolts for the woods. Like he did with his wife.
Yeah, you know. That's a thing. Okay, cool. So Timothy deadbolts for the woods. The four of you remain. The intention right now is that some of you are going to go over there to meditate. I mean, to actually meditate, but like under the pretense of also meditating. And you're bringing some assistance, some of your retainers with you. Is that true? Nephany is coming. Okay.
Arturo if I could have Arturo come with me as well.
Okay, of course, absolutely. And Thylor is going to go with Celexa, not with Thea. Okay, cool, excellent. So I think we can just cut to the scene. I think we see. I want to have a moment at least for Nova. How is meditating for you?
No.
No. So Caliban is great at just sitting there and doing nothing, and Nephany takes to it quite well as well. Arturo kind of keeps on stretching out his back a little bit, like he's a little bit uncomfortable with the whole thing. Just keeps cracking it. Nova,
fidgeting the whole time.
Yeah, I can just see Nova backwards, messing around. And then our next shot, I think we'll just establish that you guys are there. Thea, where are you hiding? Are you hiding? Did you sneak in? Are you inside the area? Are you downstairs? Are you upstairs? Are you in the pews above the area, or I don't know, where are you?
Yeah, is there a good? I forget what the room looked like where Numa was.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything like seats or a big light I could kind of hide behind or something?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Why don't you roll a stealth check? Let's just see how well hidden you are. 13. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so you find a spot to hide. Or I guess I'm asking, would Thea try and hide like on the level, or would she try and hide high up? Those are really
I
your
think
options.
high up.
Okay.
We had briefly discussed me giving her enhance ability, but I don't think we decided to do that. Maybe we did.
I mean, if you're getting there early,
That's true. She went ahead.
yeah. So yeah, so you are there. You're hiding, and that's all well and good. And then Celexa, you and Thylor enter the scene. And what do you want to have happen as you enter the scene?
So, let's see.
Oh, and your assistant. Sorry.
And sorry.
And your assistant. Sorry, yeah. You've got a Kavani.
Okay, gotcha.
Kavani with you.
So we get to the door, to the entrance to the temple, and I turn to the assistant and say, "You can wait here."
Forgive me, mistress. Numa does not speak the tongue.
Don't worry. We'll find a way. We're safe here. We can't go anywhere else. We'll find you on the way out.
Yeah, and your assistant, she bows and backs away.
Okay, so I also, of course, want to communicate the situation to Thylor and sort of be like, hey, here's what, fill him in on what's going on, and say, okay, basically, I think the plan is we go and you need to let her know what's happening, and just see if she can tell you anything about just try to get a read on her, on what her reaction is, best you can.
He nods. So what is everything? I mean, you discussed this with him beforehand, so you don't have to discuss it now, but what is everything? You said
Right.
Tell her everything, or?
So I think I'm going to suggest that he tells her that there's a to tell her that she should receive a visitor from the Illithid Collective tonight before the ceremony, and that they have been told that she will let them through the covering, and that is and if she wants to know more, just to say that is all that he can tell her.
Okay. So those of you who are meditating in here, see Thylor as he walks into the room, and walks to the front. I think that Nova, you're the one who notices this first because you are the least meditative person. And he gently taps Numa on the shoulder, not even tapping, just like puts his fingers there. And she turns and looks at him and smiles and nods. And you see the telltale signs of psionic communication. He sort of looks at her. And you see at first her eyes widen. And then you see them constrict. And then you see her literally roll her eyes, which is a very weird look for this person. She's very ethereal, and she sort of like moves with this sort of bizarre grace that looks weird. It's just like everything sort of moves slightly awkwardly. It's almost like a dancer in some ways. And she opens her mouth for a second, then grits her teeth. And then just waits. but she does do a quick once around and notice that some of you are there, and like that she knows that this is your doing.
Celexa casts message and asks Thylor, what did she say?
She said, if this is the path that water flows, then it is the way that things will be.
Is there a so where were you imagining Celexa is at this point? I wasn't quite sure. You described Thyler walking forward, so
yeah. Oh, did you walk with Thyler?
Well, that wasn't my intention, but I'm trying to picture the temple.
No, it's your fault. So the temple is instead of it looks almost like it looks sort of like how we think of like a church would look, except instead of rows, we've got a large circle for meditation, with sort of seats around the edges of it. It's roughly two and a half stories tall, but there's no floors. It's just open space, and there are waterfalls indoors as well, and a little area sort of in the back that's clearly designed for like the holy people, whatever they call them, to maybe speak a little, but it's like a platform that they would move forward to the center of the circle and then move back as like a space for contemplation.
Are there any like alcoves or pillars or anything on the ground floor that provide even like a little bit of cover?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that yeah, absolutely. There are the roof is held up by large pillars, but they tend to be closer to the edge.
So based on Thylar's response, I'm going to message back to him and say, "Oh, like okay, go let the others know." And Numa clearly knows I'm here, but based on Thylar's response, Celexa feels like maybe she would tolerate her presence. So Celexa is going to just step behind a pillar or into a little bit of shadow, and she's going to use Mask of Many Faces and take on once again the guise of one of the servants of Numa, and then she'll wait as well.
Thyler walks over towards Nova and Caliban's group. Caliban.
Oh, sorry. This first, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So he comes over and he informs you. I don't know what to say, but Celexa told me to tell you that things are progressing.
Okay. I would like to use my last second level spell, my other second level spell, to cast augury.
Okay.
And ask about us being visibly and truly present for this meeting. Is that what is that? Can I have an omen regarding that?
Sure. Yeah. Hold on. I have to think through it.
So I
yeah.
roll my bones. I've taken from my pocket and throw them up in the air and watch them scatter in front of me.
Yeah, and they fall exactly. We'll say that there are 6 bones, and 2 of them land on the side, which you know for neutral. 2 land on the side for wheel, which is good, and 2 land on the side for woe, which is bad.
Yeah. Okay. I gather them up and put them back, and I don't say anything. I'll stay there.
No, but this happens right next to you. Do you comment on him doing this?
What are you doing?
I'll explain later, I promise.
Are you bored? Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So you guys are all situated in your various places when someone walks through the door. They appear to be a male Kavanian, but they are a little bit taller than you'd expect them to be, and their head is like a little bit forward and looks like it's off their neck a little bit, like they're leaning heavily forward. Like it's just like it's displaced a little bit. But they're walking, and they walk sort of weirdly, sort of lurching around. And next to them, they have a child, baby, but it's very weird. And they walk and approach Numa. The scene can play out without your guys' interaction, of course, but if you guys have intentions to interact with things, then this is the time to do so.
I whisper to Caliban, I think that's one of the things.
Definitely.
Just out of this is just out of curiosity, but any chance that Celexa catches a whiff of perfume as the thing walks through the
No, definitely not. Though I like the idea. That would be great. No, unfortunately. That is not what they would use it for. Yeah, so it just walks up very calmly and peaceably and like addresses Numa. It doesn't bow, it doesn't anything. But it's a psionic conversation. And so you can't overhear it.
Mm-hmm.
Numa nods and smiles and like bows slightly. And this illusion of a Kava person, like an arm just like shoots out and it grabs a chair and just like picks it up and throws it at the ground. And it breaks in frustration. And several people sort of get up from their chairs and look at this. Mm-hmm. And Numa nods. And the creature turns and starts walking out.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do?
Caliban staying stock still, staring into the flowing water.
Celexa uses thaumaturgy to make the sound of tittering laughter, just a little bit of laughter from the temple, from one of the like
alcoves,
like from one of the alcoves. Yeah.
Okay. What's your intent here?
Oh, well, the Illithid probably feels like he realizes he's been deceived. Is Celexa's read of the situation, and she's wondering if she can provoke him.
Yeah.
Without giving away that she's there.
Yeah, sure. No, he just keeps walking.
Okay.
And I think you see his child accompaniment just sort of turn and look towards the laughter, and sort of with wide eyes and a little scared. But then it turns back and starts galumphing after the taller one. Caliban.
They look just badly disguised, yes?
It's bad. Bad is a weird word. It doesn't look like a disguise kit. It looks like magic.
Okay. Are they carrying anything with them?
They seem not to be.
Okay. Well, let's go.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Sorry.
Caliban will stand up and follow the Illithid out.
Okay. Yeah, it is making its way directly towards the sorry, the celestial domain. And I think as you follow the Illithid out, your assistant, there's only one with you, and it's like, are you guys leaving now? He says to Caliban.
I glance back. Perhaps I am.
You guys really shouldn't split up until after the ceremony. It's really hard to keep track of you all, you know.
I understand. I glance over my shoulder at Nova. And is Timothy here? I forget. No, he left.
No, Timothy's
at Nova. And I cock my head and raise my eyebrows.
I guess I'll go with you.
Okay.
So Lexa is also following this thing out. And if so, she sees Caliban and Nova there. She's just gonna say quietly, like, if we confront it in a crowded space or public space, it probably can't do anything, right? Like,
why are we doing this?
I'd like to play by their rules now.
Sorry?
I'd like to play by their rules now.
Okay. I'm disappointed that we weren't able to find out more from this, but
me too.
Yeah. I guess there's nothing else we can do.
So do you follow it? Do you speak with it? Do you stop it somewhere? Do you let it go to the celestial domain? Do you go home and change into fancy clothing?
Celexa doesn't need to go home to change into fancy clothing.
Oh.
No.
So,
you stay fancy. You don't gotta get fancy.
Exactly. Well, just in that she has her thing. She can look like whatever she wants to.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So are you following it, Caliban?
I think Celexa will follow it, whether or not Caliban wants to.
I think Thea is also gonna follow as stealthily as possible.
Okay.
I guess Nova goes galumphing after him.
Perfect. Yeah, so it's the three of you not stealthily with Thea stealthily. Your assistants follow along with you guys since it's everyone leaving, as well as your retainers. Who are with you.
So Lexa wants to see if she can go race around the block and cut it off, not aggressively, but just kind of pretend to bump into it or pretend to see it, and she wants to try and just try and stop it, like she wants to ask it a question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you race around the block and you try to bump into it. You just do. I'm totally fine with that. Okay. You just bump into it. No roll involved.
She's just gonna she's gonna ask in common, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm a little lost. Do you know where the moon viewing pools
are? And the person looks at you, and then the child speaks and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. They're that way. My father is mute, but they're that way." And points.
Okay. Thank you. And Celexa will head off in that direction. And at that point, she'll let you guys follow if you want to, but she's going to head over to the moon viewing pools.
Okay. Caliban, your intention? You're muted.
Thanks. Yeah, Caliban's gonna go to the moon viewing pools.
Okay.
Nova needs to go get dressed, but we'll,
Which actually, question for the DM. Can we be wearing armor while we're wearing these clothes?
Yeah, not unless you have magical disguises or your armor is very subtle.
Okay.
I would allow you to wear leather armor, but if you're wearing chainmail, like, it would not fit.
I don't got it, so I'll
Okay.
just wear nice clothes.
What about hiding weapons?
They didn't say anything about forbidden weapons.
Do we have to get dressed up?
I mean, they provided fancy clothes for you, so it's your call. Did you have to get dressed up? No. It's a ceremony. You know, they sort of tried to impress upon you the seriousness of the ceremony, but Nova might be the type of person who just doesn't, like, I don't know. I go to the opera in the jeans and t-shirt. Some people look at me askance when I do that. I don't care, though.
I think Nova might go wearing her armor then.
Totally fine.
Maybe she'll try to wash her face a little bit, though.
Yeah, okay. Clean yourself up a little bit. And what about Thea?
Thea's gonna keep following the Illithid guy.
Okay.
Maybe just until the Celestial Dome. Just to see if they do anything.
Yeah, he heads to the Celestial Domain and then enters the building.
All right, and then Thea, we'll go get dressed.
Okay, excellent. So you guys sort of trickle into the party one at a time. First person there is Celexa, because Celexa doesn't need to go get changed. So Celexa, you arrive at the party, and there's people there sort of checking names and identifications and things like that, just sort of like a security system. And much like before, you can sort of tell that this is sort of not standard. There's enough people who are like upset about waiting in line or things like that, that you know that like this is probably not the normal way of doing things. They get to you, right? And they say, "Oh, Chosen."
Yes, I can see you've heard of me.
Yes, of course. We have a special. It's a ceremonial thing. May I touch your forehead?
Sure. I'll grant you that favor.
And he taps two fingers in like some ink or something like that, and then pushes those two fingers to your forehead. And you feel it feels a little cool.
Where are our seats? Where do we go?
Feel free to wander throughout the entire moon viewing pool area. There's food in the tent over there. There are drinks in that tent over there. Guests and dignitaries are around. There's performers, jugglers over there, and music in that area over there. Feel free to wander and make yourself known. I'm sure that many will approach you, and many will have many curious questions.
So Lexa she doesn't answer. She just walks off towards the drinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to presume that everyone else who is going to the party goes to the party. Anyone object to this little dot that they're putting on your head? Nova does not. Yeah, Calvin, go for it.
What it is? Do I recognize it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, roll a. I mean, where are you looking for it?
When they dip their finger into something.
Yeah, like some sort of ink. Yeah, why don't you roll a perception check?
Okay. Do that. I will roll perception instead of insight. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like ink. It's a little shiny in some ways, and seems to like glitter on their fingers a little bit. But you don't see anyone else with these dots on their foreheads or anything like that.
Okay. Who has the starlight? Okay, great.
Yeah. So he puts a dot on your head. Nova, it's the same thing for you. And Thea, it's the same thing for you. Again, unless you object or are searching for anything.
Yeah, do I recognize it? Does it look like starlight?
It does look a little bit like starlight.
Okay.
Probably not pure starlight, probably mixed with something to some degree.
Like starlight light.
Yeah.
Light.
Starlight, light. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, so the party is in like full swing. People are doing things. There's like a little tournament on one side where people are doing like some wrestling and the like to like show off their feats of strength a little bit. There's food, there's drink, and yeah, lots of weird attendees. You suspected correctly that strange people would be about. I think the first one you bump into, I'll give one strange person to each of you. Celexa, you're just sort of standing there when you like someone bumps into you physically, and you hear a voice that says, "Whoa, sorry, did not see you down there." And you turn and you look up and you see this very massive, bright blue skinned person. Probably around 8 feet tall, broad shouldered. Shoulders sort of look kind of angular, not round, the way you would normally expect them to look, but just sort of looking at you. Eyes sort of slits going backward, almost reptilian in appearance, and looks at you and says, "I apologize. Everything here is so short."
Oh, no, you're fine. My goodness, you have a build on you, don't you?
Yes, and you're one of these chosen ones that the Kavar are so obsessed with.
Well, guess well spotted. Has everyone heard of us then?
It's your fault this whole thing's happening. I understand.
Well, this whole
Or at
thing,
least
they told us
largely.
they told us it had nothing to do with us. If it's our fault, I don't know. I don't know. Tell me more.
Oh, not this thing. This thing was slated to happen, but some of the other, we've had to go disguises and the like, so you guys wouldn't spot us.
Oh, so that I see. Yeah, we until today, I thought there were only Asimar here.
No, you'll find all sorts here. People from all over, myself included.
So, I'm sure. I mean, you seem like a really, really straightforward kind of person. You, I can tell. I can read when somebody's a straight shooter, as they say. So I'm sure you'll tell me like, why did they make you hide from us? Like all of you beautiful people.
Some sort of duty that they feel that they have. I don't fully understand the ways of the people here. You guys are all strange.
Well, the feeling is mutual.
Oh.
The I've got a funny question for you. Do you, what do you got going on tomorrow?
I won't be here anymore. That's for sure.
Oh, you're taking off. Are you going on vacation?
They're kicking us off the planet.
Ugh. Well, that's just rude. I have to say, kicking you off.
You're not telling me.
Not very considerate.
Yeah, I've been petitioning for it to the other, but
After all the time you spent here and all you've done for everybody, it's absurd.
Don't give me too much credit. You are flattering someone who is a greedy bastard.
So, well, I've met plenty of your type then, and Celexa just says cheers, and she raises her drink.
Yeah, and he cheers you back, and we're gonna cut to another person's scene and interaction with someone strange and unusual. Caliban, how are you doing?
Caliban is very happy.
Mhm.
He's drinking, eating, looking around, seeing what people are wearing.
Yeah. There's someone wearing, it kind of looks like it's red paper because it's stiff, folded in like an origami suit of some sort.
Awesome.
And it looks really, really cool. And so you're focusing on the clothing first, and then you look up and you see tentacles growing from this bottom of this person's face. There's an illithid just sort of standing there, looking at music, kind of listening.
I approach
Mm.
and stand next to them.
You hear in your head, "Do you care for these sounds?"
Is it a good performance?
It's. I mean, it's very alien to you.
And I'll think back or speak back. Do they?
Either is
I
fine.
think if okay, then I'll just think. Not my cup of tea, but
Nor mine. The locals on this planet, very weird taste.
You're not from here then.
None of us would be.
Makes sense.
Those illithids that one finds here are not true illithids, but a lost colony of mind flayers.
And you're from
the Illithid Collective.
Oh. Then there are other mind flayers here that aren't part of the Illithid Collective then, yeah?
On the planet. Not at this party.
Oh,
If you met one at this party, it would probably try to eat your brain.
That would not be great.
It is how they are made.
Oh. Beautiful suit.
Thank you. It is the official garb of my people for formal ceremonies.
Oh. My manners. I'm Caliban. I'm one of the chosen, and I air quotes.
Yes, of course. I know who you are. My name is Rel.
Hi, Rel. Are you staying long?
No.
That's a shame.
It is a farewell party for me and for all of us.
How do you get home?
We will fly.
Airships or?
Yes.
That's really a shame. Are you leaving because of the infection, the mind infections that seem to be spreading around here?
I have no interest in that. No, we are leaving for they are strengthening the covering.
Oh. Do they tell you why?
They do it every 100 years or so.
And so this ceremony is to commemorate that?
To do it.
What is the covering made out of? Do you know?
No, but it blocks the phlogiston that we need to travel.
Say that word one more time. It sounded like a what?
Phlogiston? That's right, you're a local.
Cool. So you don't eat brains then? Sorry, excuse my
We do.
rudeness.
Yes. But not of you. We have bred our own food.
Oh, that makes me feel great. You won't eat some cheese and crackers then, and I hold up the
It is nice of you to offer, but I have brought a meal for myself. And he points down, and you see that weird childlike creature with this massive brain.
Oh, cool. Huh. I turn back toward the music. Are you musical at all? Do you play anything back home?
Not me, but my life partner does.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay. I think at this point, you all see as something that can only be described as a hamster that is about the size of a brown bear is brought into the party on a leash. Thea, you see this. What's your reaction to something like this?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's
really
pretty big. Okay. So, someone taps you on the shoulder and says, "Never seen a giant space hamster, have you?"
So it's from space.
Yes, it is.
Ah. Yeah, I've never seen one of those.
Yeah. So the person standing next to you looks like an elf mostly, but their ears are much longer than you would typically expect. Like elves are pointed ears; they go to like there, like most elves. But theirs like go here and curl back a little bit. They're almost as long as like tiefling horns, and they have like some jewels in the back as well as in the front to sort of that seem to weight them down a little bit. Their eyebrows are also ridiculously long and sort of extend outward from their face and curl up, almost like a handlebar mustache on their eyes.
Cool.
And her skin is she's black.
Well, have you seen one of these space hamsters?
Yes, they bring them out. They're brought out to impress you, the locals. We've they're kind of like pests to us, honestly.
Oh, where are you from?
I'm sorry, I
Where are
couldn't
you
hear you. I'm a
from?
little. It's loud here.
Oh. Where do you come from?
Oh, well, I come from a place known as Regulus.
Ah. I think there's somebody else in town from Regulus as well.
Yes, there's a whole assortment of us. It's a big place. Lots of people going through. Not many people make their home there, but big place nonetheless.
Huh. Why are there so many people from Regulus here?
Oh, there's people from all over here. Surely you've noticed that. And she starts pointing, and you see Caliban talking to an illithid. You see a tall, massive blue person. She points at another person who just looks like they're on fire. Just looks like a person on fire is walking around perfectly normal. All sorts of like weird things. You also see like this skinny, greenish yellow person with like it looks like their nose has been chopped off, just sort of walking around. Yeah, and there's like a fair number of them. Like these are
So you're
not.
saying it's like an old episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, sort of. Yeah. 90s. It's the 90s. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. There's a lot of diversity here. A lot of different kinds of people.
So you're a chosen?
Is it that obvious?
What's all the fuss about with that anyway? Do you know? They won't tell us much.
They won't tell us much either. We don't really
I was
know.
hoping you'd be more interesting and useful.
Hey, right back at you.
No, I mean, whatever. You're chosen. It's like, it's a big deal to them, but they won't freaking tell us why, you know?
Hey, same thing here. They won't tell us why.
Fucking secret societies with their secret nonsense.
Yeah, there's a lot of secrets around here.
Let me tell
Do
you,
you know
on
anything
Regulus,
about this? Oh,
everything is for sale, right? There are plenty of secrets, but like, there's no such thing as a secret that you can't put a price on, you know?
Yeah, it sounds easier than how things are here.
You're telling me everything's for sale. You can purchase anything you want. Commerce.
Yeah.
It's the way of the future.
Yeah, how do they even buy stuff here? Nothing's for sale.
Yeah, I know. Don't talk to me about their internal society shit. I don't get any of this nonsense. It just drives me insane. By the way, I'm Allura.
Hi, Thea.
It's good to meet you, Thea.
Nice to meet you.
And she'll continue talking. Nova. Saved a good one for you. What part of the party do you find yourself in?
I'm trying to find well, actually, I think I'd probably be trying to make my way inside of that giant tent, which has a platform on it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be able to sneak my way up there, but I might try to anyway.
Okay. Yeah, of course. So you keep on getting distracted by people coming up and saying, "Holy One, Holy One, Chosen One, Holy One." You're like people, like Kavala people just keep on doing this constantly, endlessly. And there's actually a ladder now up to that little metal platform there. It's not huge, but it's maybe 8 feet across. So there's definitely room up there for you if you want to get up there.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So you head up there, and as you get up there, you see that there's something up there that is kind of hiding from sight of everyone else. It's just sort of floating there in midair. It looks about maybe 5.5 feet across to be a massive single eye with 10 eye stalks coming out at different angles, looking at you.
Hi.
I offer greetings.
I offer greetings as well. Nice view up here, huh?
It is good to be able to see. And some of the eyes are like twitching in different directions.
Have you seen anything interesting up here?
Why? What do you know?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm up here to do.
Jedthro is my name.
Can you say that again?
Jedthro.
Jedthro. Okay. I'm Nova. Nice to meet you.
Named for a particular Nova, or just Novas in general?
In general. I can do a cool fire thing, though, if you want to see.
Show. I always want to see.
I punch myself really hard.
You emit flame. Burn under a star sign.
I am. Isn't that cool?
Local, then.
Yes. And I assume you are not local.
You speak wisely.
What are you up here for?
The ceremony.
Is there something special happening up here?
No. Just less people to see and more people to see.
Ah. Yes. Huh. Have you seen this really tall guy? He's really friendly. I describe Urkaliki, the guy from Ridiculous, to him.
Yeah. He looks at you and he says, "Hold." And he like turns and starts like he stares at you with his big eye, but his little eyes start like rotating around and bending around. And then he says, near the pools. Seems to be meditating.
And one other person, and then I describe what Masozi looks like.
He has a limp now. In the corner.
Okay, thank you. And I head towards there.
Okay. And with that, let's go check in with Timothy. Timothy, 2 full moons are in the sky behind you. Thoth, Ru, and Tikaru are both in the sky behind you, heading slowly towards their zenith. And you make it to the woods. It's late, but there you are when you get there, a little out of breath. Well,
I'm sorry. Did I miss something? Who said well?
It's me. I assume you came to see me again. Taj.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes, I did. You could have led with the fact that they're going to kill someone down there. You way to bury the lead. I mean, really. I thought we had a wonderful, pleasant afternoon tying fishing lures and tackle, and you didn't tell me anything. You told me you weren't going to be there. You laughed it off, but no, you didn't tell me that.
Is death something that offends your sensibilities?
You know what? Yes, it is. As a biologist, I feel like we should protect life. We should nurture it. We should see to it that we are, establishing good relationships with nature and people. And yeah, it does.
So as a biologist, certainly you understand that some creatures eat others.
Yes.
And they do that to survive.
Yeah. Sure. You take a fish, it gets eaten by a shark. The fish doesn't stab itself for the shark.
But of course, intelligence changes things.
Okay, sure.
One can choose to make sacrifices to protect one's friends.
How does that work? How does killing something protect other people?
The Kava is founded upon very dark secrets, things that people do not fully understand. Don't roll your eyes at me, young man.
Sorry. It's been a day.
Much of this is shrouded in history, and we don't have full information about it.
You've been around longer than anyone. What do you mean you don't know? That I feel like you're giving me the same lines that everyone else here is.
Do you know how hard it is to transfer your entire mind into a new body?
I don't, but I crammed for 5 finals in one night, so I'm sure it's comparable.
It is not, trust me. Finals. Academics. Ugh. It is not comparable. You lose things. Can't keep everything.
Are you doing that currently? Are you transferring your body? Your mind?
I was debating it, but I do not like it.
You do not like the body or the process or both?
The body is fine. I am tired, and so I'm considering passing on, giving out. What I've been able to piece together, and I admit I do not know everything, is that your planet, this world, has immense natural resources, deposits of things that people everywhere want. They want it badly. It has power, and they can use it. But unlike many things, this was discovered not by the greediest, but by a group of people who sought to protect your planet, to help it. They came, they found the resources, but they also found fledgling civilizations. We'd seen before what others would do. We'd seen before what others could do, and how they would destroy things, how they would show up and colonize. Use the fledgling races as labor before they could build themselves. So it was decided instead to protect. I don't know if that was a good decision or not. But the gods had abandoned this planet. And so a thing was created. The covering. a way to shield the world, a way to protect it from others. It's not just the Kava that maintains it, it's others as well. There are creatures beyond your understanding, eldritch powers. But the Kava part of it was made with dark magics, forbidden magics, blood magics. By blood was it created, by blood it will be maintained. A sacrifice to protect your planet.
Who was the last sacrifice? You've been around long enough.
His name was Aska, and he was a friend. And before him was Tirna. And before that, Kulma. And before that, Marak. I knew them all.
Are the Kava hoping that this will cure their problem? The strengthening the covering will keep out the invasion, the colonizing?
No. It is a separate thing. It is their purpose, though, to protect. You're not at the ceremony.
I'm not. It seems foolish, but I can't be party to that.
It is good that you are not. It is good that at least one of you is not.
Why do you say that?
They will erase your friend's memories.
Who will?
The Kava. They will strengthen the covering. They will remove all presence from other planets from this world. And they will remove the memories of your friends that they ever existed.
Okay, thanks. Okay, bye.
And with that, Timothy turns and runs around. Okay. Yeah, we'll have a mad dash check next time. Back at the party, things are sort of going in full swing. It actually does feel a lot like a party. It's kind of like a fancy duds party, but still, it's a party. People are looking nice. They're chatting. You do get constantly interrupted by people who want to say, greetings, Holy One, or Chosen One, things like that. And it is possibly a little annoying. I would find it a little annoying. Still, agents to say this to you. And there's all sorts of weird people to talk to, and interesting people to talk to, and unusual people, and of unusual shapes and sizes, and species that you have never even imagined before. Jedthro is not the only beholder there. Another one shows up. And there are there's a couple of eye tyrants at the party. And things are raucous at times. And we'll see scenes from this party as we go. We may even use this as a what's called a flashback point as we go on in the campaign, so that if ever there's like, this would be more cool if we had an earlier conversation, we'll flash back to this party to have had a conversation at this party. We don't need to role play them all out that way now. We can sort of let them emerge as we need to. Oh, could we have had a conversation back in the party? And the party continues until at some point Numa rings a crystal, just emerges across the party, and people slowly stop speaking, and it calms down. And Numa then will begin her ceremony. And I think that is where we will leave off for tonight, if that's okay with everyone. I see Ami like looking at me like, no, I want more. Oh man, is that okay, everyone? Is that an okay place to leave?
Masozi?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll start next episode not with the ceremony. We'll start like 20 minutes before the ceremony so people can, because obviously like I just threw you in this party and like I'm sure that there's things that people want to do. We will also do like an athletics check for a series of like a chase scene or a chase check or a running check for Timothy to see where Timothy is and how Timothy gets and what the experience of that is like. Can he get there in time? What'll he do when he gets there? All sorts of things like that. Yeah, that feel like an okay place then. If with that caveat that we'll go back in time next time, but I feel like that's the dramatic spot to end the episode. So we'll go back in time and then build up to that dramatic spot again. Feel good? Wow. Okay. Lore dump for Timothy. Hope you all enjoyed that. Hey, those of you that are watching, thanks for watching. I hope that you're having a good time. Because let me tell you, I am definitely having a good time. And I think that this is a lot of fun. And those of you who are freaking out from my other campaigns, I hear you. And I know that I sometimes just do things in one campaign that are like, and they're like, what the hell? That has so many implications for my campaign. And boy, is that just like really making me happy right now. So go live good and happy lives. Please enjoy yourselves. And of course, as always, don't forget to call your cat and feed your mom.